Hello and welcome to Elite Geospatial. And today we're going to be looking at buffer, and we're looking at how to perform buffer in ArcGIS Pro. So, someone can just easily ask, what is a buffer? Well, buffer analysis in context of a geographic information system is a spatial analysis or techniques used to create a zone or a buffer around a geographic features or point, right? It helps to identify areas within a specific distance from that future. This future you're trying to do, it allows for proximity analysis. It helps to understand influence and impact of spatial futures. So, like, what do we think we can use buffer analysis for? I think we can use buffer analysis for proximity analysis, for spatial queries, to basically understand the influence one has over the whole thing. All right. Now, the purpose of it is to just help us to, understand the pattern of the data we have. You understand? So, I think let me demonstrate it practically using the data we have. So we have here um, a school coordinates or school data for Taraba State. This is not the entire schools in Taraba State, but for education purpose. These are the coordinates of schools available, and let's make an assumption that these schools you see here are the entire schools in Taraba State. So let's right click and look at the attribute table, and ideally we just want to know how many schools are in it. So we have 180 schools in Taraba State by assumption. All right, not that this is the school we have, but by assumption. So we want to know how close these schools are to the building or to the residents. Now, to properly have that analysis, we will need to have maybe like the settlement data so that we can really know. All right, but we believe that anywhere there is school, there definitely have humans living there. All right, so we want to know how closely distance are, and by if you check online, you will see where they say the closest distance should be maybe for pupils, those between the young adolescents should be between 1 to 3 kilometers. So let's make assumption because schools that are more are basically between secondary school, primary school, and crèche and nursery school, all of those kind of schools. So university, you may be, if you're lucky, you will see 3 or 4 universities in the whole state. Okay, like Kaduna is privileged to have. I'm talking public university. I have no business with private. All right. We have 3 federal universities in Kaduna, and 1 state university. That makes them a total of 4. And then we have 2 or 3 private universities. Some, are cubicles, but majorly the schools you find day to day are basically um, primaries and secondary school. So that is where this analysis will be focused. So assuming that our data set, these are the whole primary and secondary data in Taraba State, both private and public. So we want to perform buffer to know if where should school be cited more or where should we cite school. So basically you will go to analysis and you either click on this toolbox. Once you click, it will bring out your geoprocessing tool, all right, which is where we are now. So you just search for buffer, all right. Once you search for buffer, you click enter. So buffer comes out, you click on it. Now it has come in. What you want to put in here, your input feature will be the school, isn't it? Now let's leave our output feature class to go to wherever it wants to go because we're just making video. All right, and then the distance valued is what? Let's use 1 kilometer, and then the linear, the unit is kilometers. So we click on run. So it has created a buffer of 1 kilometer, which means ideally we should have plenty schools around here following this analysis. All right, so we have schools. So these are 1 km, which means from here to here is quite a long distance, isn't it? Now, the second thing we want to do is we want to create a buffer between 1 kilometer to 10 kilometer to really understand this pattern. So what we will need to do we'll be using a ring buffer, a multiple ring buffer, to have this pattern analyzed in different polygon shape and colors. So we come down from the buffer you already search here, just come down and click on this multiple ring buffer. Now, this multiple ring buffer allows you to have multiple distances that will now create. Maybe we have 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer, 4 kilometer, 5 kilometer is going to create that for us. Okay, so we double click on the multiple ring buffer. Now our input will still be the school. Now our distances will be, let's say, 1, and then we add another 2, 2, we add another 3, we add another 4, we add another 5, we add another 6, we add another 7, we add another, and then let's just put 10. Okay, so these are the distances we want it to create for us. Okay, and then once you're done where they're asking you here, you have dissolve option. We have where it's non-overlapping rings, isn't it? And then we are using geodesic method where there's also planar. So let's use planar and see. I actually have not read or have not checked what each of these means, so I'm just going to use planar for video purpose, and then you click on run. So it has created for us. So let's zoom to layer and see. Let's remove this. See, has it really created? Oh, yes, I think it has, but it's not showing. Let's try that again. Something is, oh, I don't know, something is really wrong. Okay, so it already exists. So let's put some things there. Okay, so let's create now. I think the name already exists or something, but let's check now and see. But it still hasn't really created. Wait, is it that it created? Yes, it did. Sorry, I didn't check. It did. So we can see the colors. I didn't see. So we can see the colors. This is 1 kilometer, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 10 kilometers, which we can see. So it's because the whole land is really big. But I believe if we have come to Jalingo, we'll have a better understanding of the pattern. All right. So it has really created that. So you can see that at this schools there are no plenty schools within this. So which means there is need for more schools. That is basically what one of the things you can use buffer analysis for. If this was filling station, we want to check the DPR requirement of 15 meters from the first pump to the road, and we'll also be checking the distance between one filling station to another, which the DPR say 400 meters. So these are what you can use buffer to do. But before we go, I want to show us something which is not on ArcGIS desktop, or maybe I have not seen it there, which is the buffer 3D. Now this buffer 3D will create a 3D kind of around that same buffer. So we're going to bring in our school in here, and then let's put some other numbers, and then we're going to use 10 kilometers, or let's use 20 this time around, and then we change this to kilometers, and then we click on run. Now Now watch what this does. This created a kind of, I really love this. I think instead of using the normal buffer, I think the best thing is to use the 3D buffer. So you see how it created a 20 meters, but a 3D kind of a buffer. You can see how it is. You can see how it appears. So I think ArcGIS Pro is damn cool, and I think we should keep exploring this ArcGIS Pro. So basically, this is how to use buffer, and I'm only able to show you one dimension to which you can use buffer for analysis. Buffer helps you to uh, you can also use buffer to analyze patterns of data and all of that. So it helps you to just create, okay, how close is this to the other and all of that. So basically, you can use this for your analysis depending on which one you want to use for. So basically, this is what I want to show you. I know I've repeated so much basically today, so you'll pardon me. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.